Good morning. Good morning. Welcome in, everybody. It's me, Dana, aka Triple C. Come on in to Craft Hour with Triple C. I'm so excited to be here. It is October the 9th. It is Monday, and we are here today. Come on in. Come on in. We are wrapping up our last project that we have been working on, which is a beautiful cardigan that we're going to be having for this fall season, or you can wear it any season, depending on the yarn that you choose. Tomorrow, we're starting off a new project, which will be from the amazing Repeat Crafter and me, which will be a hexagon. I always want to say hexagon cardigan, and it'll be really fun. So I hope that you can join me. Before we leave here today, I'll tell you guys exactly the pattern. I'll give you the link, and then we can talk yarns, what we're choosing to use for this. I may go into some red heart jumbo. I have a few different skeins of it. I don't know exactly which ones I'll do. I have some stripes. And I'm thinking possibly I might use a couple of my stripes. I got to see exactly our yardage, what we'll need. So I'll go over all those things as well. Also, some announcements. It's Monday. I want to know what kind of announcements you have going on so I can share them as well as get to know who everybody that's coming in. Also, guys, I want to get into this prayer first. This is the month of October, and so I'm still doing my yarn tree challenge. Many of you have submitted, many of you are thinking about doing it. We're wrapping it up for the end of this year already, and it's getting amazing. So having some really good reviews from that. And today I'm going to be sending out some packages as well. So it's going to be great. So again, I want to pray, then I'll greet, and then we'll craft. Father God, in the mighty name of Jesus, I come to you giving you glory this morning, God, because you're everything and you're worthy to be praised. As I enter into your gates with thanksgiving and into your courts with praise, God, I just lift you up and magnify you because you're everything. God, I thank you for every way that you've made. I thank you for every door that you opened and every door that you closed on this morning. I give you glory, and I thank you for waking us up and breathing life into us. Someone did not wake up on this morning, so since you gave us life and since you woke us up this morning, I give you glory. I thank you. I praise your holy and set apart name. I ask that you begin to touch those right now in the mighty name of Jesus, from the crown of their head to the very soles of their feet, with the precious blood of your son, Jesus Christ, on their day-to-day, God. I'm asking you begin to touch those who are working, touch those who are driving, cover those who are fighting for our countries, putting their lives on the lines, cover those who fight for our communities, God, day to day. Touch those who are in the school buildings, whether it be teachers, students, faculty members, parents. Put them on one accord on this morning, God. Cover those who are homeless and have nowhere to go on this morning. Cover those who are in prisons and also in jail cells, God. Cover those who are in nursing homes and rehabilitation centers. Father God, touch those who need a covering and don't know who you are, but desire to have a father and a true love. God, cover those on this morning who are dealing with financial issues, who need help in that area. Father God, bless their hands and their gifts, Father God, and give them resources that may need. God, on this morning, touch those who are dealing with grief and mourning on this morning, who are heartbroken, who are dealing with loss and grieving the loved ones that they had. Father God, I ask that you begin to just touch them and give them strength on this morning. God, cover those who are dealing with any type of abuse, whether it be verbal or physical. Father God, I'm asking you begin to touch them right now and be with them. Cover them, Father God, and heal their hearts. Father God, I'm asking you begin to give them resources, Father God, and strength and courage. On this morning, God, I just ask that you begin to cover us now. For those who are listening under the sound of my voice, meet every need. Your word said that you'll supply all of our needs according to your riches and glory, God. And I also believe in your word that says you'll never leave us nor forsake us. So no matter, Father God, when it feels lonely, when it feels depressing, when it feels sad, God, I understand that you are everything and that you'll never leave us, God. I understand that you are near to the brokenhearted, God. So if our hearts feel broken, God, I understand that you're not far away. God, on this morning, I understand that your word says that we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. So, God, I'm asking that you begin to just strengthen us on this morning. I'm asking that you begin to lift us up on this morning. I'm asking that you begin to empower us on this morning. I'm asking that you begin to encourage us on this morning. Whatever goals that you have given us, God, I'm asking that you begin to give us strength to carry them out. I ask that you begin to remove every bit of fear, every bit of doubt. I come against and bind up every spirit of negativity, every spirit of hatred, every spirit of jealousy, every spirit of envy. I bind up every spirit of suicidal thoughts, every spirit of depression, every spirit of stress. I come against it and bind it up and send it to the dry place in which it came. God, I ask that you give us a great day to laugh together and craft together. I bind up trolling, spamming, cyberbullying, and any type of technical difficulties. Lord, I love you and I praise your holy and set apart name. You are worthy, God. You are everything, and I love you. I pray this prayer in your son, Jesus' name. Amen. 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 Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday, guys. It's Monday. I'm excited. I have my craft here and I'm ready to get this baby assembled. I don't really like assembly. You know this. Y'all know this, right? but we're gonna do this together. I feel like if we do it together and we'll get it together. Hey, Tina B. Hey, Maritza. Welcome in, guys. I want to show you how it's coming along. Many of you know what we're doing, so I'm going to share with you. Today's the last day, and tomorrow we are headed over to Repeat Craft Me. So for those who have no idea, I'm going to just give you a quick little quick little run through, just to refresh for those who had no idea what we're doing, and also who want to know what we're doing. I don't know if you guys can hear me or not, but for some reason I felt I did a testing on my mic, but my microphone light is like, it's kind of letting me know that it's a little dim. I don't know, but it says that it's on. So if you can hear me, let me know. Let me see here. What is this? Mama in a Stitch. Yes, guys, we've been working on Mama in a Stitch pattern today for this last week, a little bit over the week or two. And today is the last day. We're just going to work on assembly today. I'm so excited. I cannot wait to get this baby done. Let me share with you what it looks like for those. I'm just doing a quick, this is going to be brief. All right. Shout out to my Facebook family. Hey, Facebook family. I appreciate you for being here. I'm ready getting here. Okay. So guys, this is what it's looking like. So for those who had no idea, all right, I might revisit this young lady's website and her works because I do enjoy them, right? I do enjoy what she's bringing to the table. But this is what we've been working on, guys. Again, mine is not going to be exactly as long as hers because I may not be the same height as she is. All right. So it just depends on body size, body shapes, all these different things take place. I did a size small, which is about 29 inches long. So let's see here. Let's see. This is what it's going to look like, guys. I'm doing the same exact colors. Now, I may not line up like hers, but it is going to be just, however I put it together. Okay, guys, I'm kind of patchworking it, kind of like letting it be abstract a little bit because I kind of want it to be, I want that look. Now, it depends on how you want it. Now, you can always, you grab these yarns that are, multicolored, self-striping, if you will, and you can color control them. If you don't know what that means, guys, it means to literally cut the yarn and stop the yarn to line up evenly on each side. That's how you would do it. So if you want each of your panels to look a certain way, you would go through the yarn. And if you had to unravel or wind up, making small, balls of different colors, you would do so in order to achieve the a very symmetrical lineup of color. So again, for me, I'm not doing that. I'm just jumping in with it and having some fun with that. So that is what we're doing. We're getting this baby together. We're getting it assembled, guys. I'm super excited to get this baby assembled because it seems like it's been forever. It seems like it's taken forever to get this done, but I've been enjoying making it. It's the fall season, so it is season for us, for those of us who are making gifts for the family, for those of us who are designing new patterns, for those of us who are doing craft. I mean, all these different things. We can get so many different things done in this fall season. Some of us who've been on the go all summer long and who have been desiring to get out and who've been desiring to get some things done, we might be in the house now because it's a little chilly. So I know I am. I know I'm not out riding the bike right now or out and about like I would normally be in the summertime, or for this year anyway. But it feels good to get back in and getting some work done because, it can be a little, sometimes we have to get back into our crafting if we're doing it for business wise anyways. So yeah, that's what I'm doing, guys. I want to finish up this last sleeve and, I got to show you guys what mine is coming out to look like, guys. You want to see what it looks like? Again, I have not pinned off any of the armholes yet because I want to make sure I have, ample space for my sleeve. I don't want to jump into my armholes and sewing in the ends and seaming up anything yet because I didn't want to, prematurely do it. And then my sleeve didn't have enough room. So I just decided to wait because that's exactly what the pattern said. So I said to wait until you get done. And with my wrist being not the best in filling, I decided to try to take my time a little bit. So that's probably why this project didn't, get as done as fast as I really wanted it to. Because with having a wrist injury, you do have to have wisdom because, if you are a crocheter, some of my fellow crocheters have dealt with like carpal tunnels and wrist injuries and wrist pain. So I always want to be wise in that area too, because You know, I don't want to stop being able to crochet. I don't want that to be the end result for me. So I do have to have wisdom. And so there's days where I have to rest my wrist. There's days where I have to ice it. There's days where I have to soak it. There's days where I just have to let this baby sit, you know, and I do try to keep it wrapped. You know, again, last week, many of you know, I decided to do a little gym work. I was not feeling any wrist pain. So I decided to take it up a notch. All right. I took it up a notch as though I was not having any pain because I wasn't, but I kind of unraveled a little something and I kind of messed up my wrist. So now I'm kind of like, now I'm kind of back at square one. But again, I'm okay. I'll be good. But I just have to be wise in this season and not use, I have to focus on really using my left hand more and just letting my right hand, this which one that's injured, be more of my, I'm going to let it be more of my, like a guide, you know, like let it be a guide. Let my left hand just do all the work and then let my right hand just kind of guide, you know, guide it in. So that's what I'm going to do from now on, at least for right now, anyways, to help me get this baby done. So yes, I'm going to show you how for this particular, for the sleeves, we're doing this about 18 inches. Let me just give it more of a check. I hope you guys are doing great. Hit that thumbs up if you haven't hit it yet. Okay, so for this sleeve, let's see. I think these are 18 inches. I just want to give it a small little gander because sometimes I forget. I don't know if you guys are working on anything this morning. You nibbling on some breakfast this morning. Let me know. Let me see here. Sleep pattern. Okay. Shane 47. I know that. How many inches? Okay. 18 and a half. Okay. So 18 and a half inches long. So that's how long this has to be. 18 and a half inches. And then this baby is going to be sewn on the body. Okay, guys. So that is what we're doing for this particular project. All right, let's see here. I'm going to probably put overhead. Let's just get into that overhead. You guys let me know if you're working on anything. All right, so here we go. That's what the sleeve's looking like. But on the body, guys, this is what we're doing. We have our body, which we were assembling last week, which you were here. We were sharing this, and it is coming out delicious. Okay, so let me show you what it's looking like. I do have to weave in some ends, you guys, so don't. Like, what are some ends there? I still haven't woven in my ends, but we did get a good sewing job in. Okay, so I'm going to show you on the right side. And then I'm you know what? I am glad that I sewed it because, you know, guys, I will crochet that thing together, slip stitch it together, but I sewed it this time. And you know what? I am happy with the seam since I sewed it. I will admit. I know I say, you guys, I don't like sewing. I don't like, because I really don't. But it does look, the seam looks delicious. I'll show you overhead as well. But this seam looks so much better sewn. It looks so much better sewn. I like it. So this is what it's looking like, guys. And again, it's going to be a little oversized, not extremely, about 4 inches oversized, but it's going to be good. It's meant to be oversized. That's what the pattern is called for. And again, mine is kind of like patchworky, so you'll see like all the colors are not lined up. This is purposely done on my behalf. I purposely did not color control it, so you'll see like the colors are not lined up. You won't see this color and this color being the same. You won't, because this is how I chose to do it. I kind of wanted it to be this way. You know, the colors themselves blend together beautifully. So it really, to me, in my eyes, it'll be okay like this. Again, if you want to pair it, I feel like I'll possibly pair this with jean. I think I don't even know. I don't know how it's gonna be, but I feel like I feel like in my head I could see like jean and like maybe possibly ripped jean. I don't know why ripped has to be there, but I feel like ripped jean as well as maybe a boot. Again, I even see a hat. Again, that's a like a little cowgirl hat or something. Anyways, again, I have no idea would that look good. It just came to my head, and I might try to execute that look. We shall see. Again, I don't know why it came there, but let's just do it. This is what it looks like, guys. Overhead. I mean, not overhead yet, but this is what it looks like. Just holding it up, and I cannot wait to wear this thing. I can't wait. I'm just drawing it. I cannot wait. I don't know if you can really see it. Can you see it, guys? I don't know if you can see it, but we're gonna try to make you see it today. I just can't wait to put this baby on. I can't wait to put this baby on. Hey, I might be to wear this baby to the I might be to wear this baby to the bowling alley tonight, guys. I might wear this baby to the bowling alley tonight. See if I can get a couple orders in. That's how you do it, guys. All right, so let me show you overhead. We're gonna work on a sleeve. We're gonna get this baby done. and measure it, because we always keep your measuring tape. No matter what you're doing, keep you some measuring tape around. Whether you got, you know what? It's so crazy. I was addicted to measuring tape. Every time I start getting certain things, like I have to get like 30 of them. I get one measuring tape, then I'm getting like 15 of them. You know what I'm trying to say? I get one measuring tape. Next, I gotta get another. Then I'll go to the store and I'll pick up another one. But my son, I remember it's like maybe Mother's Day. I don't know. I think it was Mother's Day. Yeah, my big son, my oldest son, he's about to be 18 this year. And he saw me. I'm saying, don't you just love your kids? I just love them. Y'all, this young man at the time, I don't know how old he was. He could have been about 10, 11, 12. I don't even know. But he noticed his mother going through a stage. Oh my goodness. This should be good, right? Testing. Okay, let me see. I think I got it. Okay, so let me see. I don't know why this light is not coming on for me today. I don't know, but is the light out? I don't know, guys, but it's saying that it's on. I feel like. Let me see. Testing. It's saying that it's on, so I guess so. Okay, so yes, I guess I don't know. My light is not on, but it's still saying it's working. So okay, so I'm gonna pull this overhead, and yeah, so my son, he saw that I was addicted to tape measuring, so or tape measures. This young man went to the store. Okay, he went to the store, and it was Mother's Day. I don't know if it was Mother's Day or my birthday. And I think he went to the Dollar Tree, and when your kids are a certain age, they get their money from their dad or their grandparents or something to give something for mom, right? So he had some money and he went to the Dollar Tree and got me some nice little mix and match of goods. And inside that goodie, he was so proud that he got me a tape measure. Now, this tape measure was not necessarily a cloth tape measure. Okay. It was more of the tool belt, right? He got me one of those tape measures, but he was like so proud, like, Mom, did you see I got you a tape measure? And I was just like, I was like, why are you paying attention now? I have an addiction here. He supported my addiction. Hey, Cindy, how are you doing? He supported my addiction. So I thought that was really sweet. At a young age, he is celebrating my addiction to having a tape measure. So I'm going to share with you guys. We're going to finish up the sleeve and we're going to assemble the sleeve, guys. Let's get this baby assembled. I'm excited. And let's see here, because the body's turning out delicious. That's all I can say. The body is turning out delicious. So I'm ready to see what the sleeve is going to look like. Okay, so here we go. Let's get it together here. I'm going to turn this here and twist it here and go like so. Okay, here we go, guys. Here we go. Okay. Thank you, Cindy, so much. Yes, this is one of the shawls from Nana's Crafty Corner. Oh my goodness, yes. Nana's Crafty Corner, Tanya. All right, let me make sure I got my computer charging. Okay. All right, let's get into it. Okay. Let me see. Let's see. We're going to go here. Thank you so much. Anybody making any fall items? Okay, let's see. Where is this going to be? StreamYard? Okay, let me get into StreamYard, guys. And clean off my camera a little bit. Yesterday, we had a great day at church. And then after church, we went to a birthday celebration. It was really nice. A young lady, my husband knows her son, and she turned 65 years old, and she wanted to have a concert, like a church concert. And it was really, really nice. It was a lot of people that came out, not only to sing and celebrate, but not only just to sing, and say some kind words, but a lot of people came to celebrate. I thought it was very beautiful. She was even singing. I was like, what? She even sang as, oh my, her voice is amazing. It was just something about her voice and just hearing her coming. She got to sing for her own birthday, you know, like join in. I thought it was beautiful, honestly. I love that. I love when, you know, someone has a birthday and we're able to celebrate, because everybody doesn't get that, you know. So I just thought it was nice. Yes, yes, yes. Do, 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 do. Okay, here we go. And let's get into this next video. Okay, you ready? Okay. All right, let's see. Do, 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 do. Okay. I need to probably turn this way. I want to turn this way. Okay, here we go. Mm-hmm. Okay. And pull this way. Okay, yes, yes, yes. All right. Thank you so much, Cindy, for leaving me playing. Have a great day. Okay, so where is my sleeve? Okay. Let's get this crocheted, and then we're going to assemble and then see how it's going to be assembled. If I can find what I just did with my sleevery. Oh, here it goes. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Okay, here we go. I'm going to mute this and mute this. Oh my goodness. All right, guys. Okay, so let's get into the craft on this morning. All right, so here we go, guys. All right, here we go. Now we're going to work on the sleeve and then get into the assembling of it. All right. Okay, here we go, guys. So I'm going to measure this because I don't even know how many inches we are at. So let's see here. We're going to go ahead and check out where we're going. Here we go. Let me see what it's looking like, guys. All right. Because once it gets 18 and a half inches, then we'll put it on. Well, I'm going to line it up. I have to actually sew it up, seam it up. And then after the seaming, we're just going to line it up against the cardigan and see how it's going to be. Let's see what we have for measurement and then go from there. Okay. So let's see here if I can find it. Where are we? Okay. I think I got this measuring tape for those who want something longer. I always have different people over the years, like every year I am loving to make, I would say like, you know, I love to make, what do I love to make? Afghans for so many different people. So when I do my Afghans, I have a couple people who have specific measurements, and they're not like, oh, just make me a queen size. No, they're like, I need it to be this by this. And I do like that because it gives you, you can kind of, if you want to gauge how much yarn you're going to need, you know, things of that sort. And so I love that. But when people come around like that, I want to make sure I have the right amount of, you know, inches on my tape measure, because usually if you go to a store or anything like that, a lot of times you're not going to get many inches. You're not going to get a lot. So this one I had to get, I think this was like 145 inches. I had to get it because 144 inches. I got it from Amazon because, you know what, guys, I wanted to make sure I could have the right measurement, because if someone gives you a measurement, they want it to be a certain thing. You always want to make sure you give them what they're asking for. So I made sure I went to Amazon. I was like, what can I find at large, a larger measuring tape, but also not break the bank, okay? Because sometimes we know the banks can be broken. All right, guys. So we do have a total of a little bit over 12 inches, guys. Can you see it? Can't even see it really on camera, but it's like a little bit over 12 inches, okay? So that means how many more inches to go? About six and a half, or it's almost 12 and a half. So it could be close to 6 inches. So we have to get this 6 inches done, and then we'll sew it on and then see how it's going to be. But yes, I'm just excited about trying this out. And I do, like I said, I'm gonna probably go through my yarn, which is a lot of red. I have some red heart, which I'm excited about because with Repeat Crafter Me, she did a Repeat Crafter Me, she did a hexagon cardigan with some red heart retro stripes, which I do have some retro stripes, but I want to save my retro stripes. I just had got some. I think they were like either on clearance or on sale, or I used a coupon. And so I loaded up on a couple of those, and they're not jumbo, they're just regular size. But I didn't want to use them. I don't want to use them for this. I want to use them for something else. Exactly. I don't know exactly what yet, but since they're not jumbo, I know I'm going to have to probably buy more. So I would just use some of the ones that I got for jumbo because my husband ended up stumbling upon some red heart super saver stripes, and there's different colors. There's a few different ones. I don't know. I can't remember which ones I have, y'all. So I'm probably going to bring them tomorrow, and then we'll figure it out, or maybe I'll make a short video about it. But he found some jumbo. I'm talking jumbo, not the regular guys. I don't even know how many yards are in here. I believe at least 700. I want to say about over 700 yards. He bought this yarn, and I'm telling you, he got it for $2. He stumbled upon 10 different jumbo cakes, and they were $2 each. And I'm telling you, I was so blown away. He's like, honey, look what I found. I'm like, wow, what'd you find? And I'm like, oh yeah, it was beautiful. Now my Walmart is now switching up yarns a little bit. They're getting rid of some and adding some new for the winter season. So I'm definitely and so watch out for that too. Because just like clothing, you know how we go through certain stores, and when it's time for a seasonal change, like when it's fall, they will start, you'll start getting, your sales on your shorts, your tanks, all those different things, and even items that are like summery or spring colors. Because for me, when I wear my workout outfits and things, well, I'll get some from Walmart and they have certain colors. But when fall season comes, they do more like darker colors and things. And so any of the spring or summer colors, they will just mark down the price. So they do the same thing from yarn. I don't know if they do it at all the stores, but they possibly could. But I know at Walmart, I've been noticing that when those seasons change, those yarns change as well, and they knock down a lot of prices. Now, sometimes, again, they don't, they don't advertise it. Sometimes you just get up there and you're like, this said it was $5, and you get up to the you get up to the cash register, and it's a complete different price, a lot cheaper. So that is an awesome thing as well. So sometimes it happens like that. I even saw that for something else. I can't remember where we're at. And it was something else. Oh my goodness. I wish I would remember what it was. Oh no, it was Family Dollar. I found some workout stuff there. They had this whole cart. As I know, I'm always finding something so weird. They had this whole cart of goodies. It was like $5 and less. So my husband saw some hoodies and he's like, you want these hoodies? And I was like, sure. Got up to the thing, and I thought it was going to like $5, It said $5 or less, but they were $2. I don't know. I mean, it's hoodie season. But I grabbed, they only had a couple though, me, my mind was like, oh, let me clear the rack. But they only had a couple hoodies. There was only a couple things I really wanted. I didn't want to get a t-shirt or some t-shirts. I would rather have hoodies if possible. I think that would be really worth it. A hoodie for $2, a really good bang. You can always stumble upon a t-shirt here and there. So yes, guys, I don't know how many rows I have to do for this, but we're going to make it happen. We are going to make it happen. I think for this month, my daughter is going to be 21 years old this month. So I'm excited about her being 21 and having some family time with her. She's ready to come home. She's like, Mom, I'm ready to come home. She's ready to come home and see the family. I couldn't even imagine what it would be like going off to college and being so far away from home. I don't know. I think it's a beautiful thing to gain an independence though, because, I think it also builds character and strength too, because you're away from family, and it takes, some strength, because that's a lot. Being away from family, also doing some work, some schooling, and, doing basically learning how to be on your own, take care of a home, all these different things. Like she's learning. I mean, that's a lot of things to learn on your own, I'm just grateful that she doesn't have to do any parenting. I'm grateful for that. because that's a lot of work trying to parent and do all those things on top of that. I'm just very, very proud of her. I'm proud of all three of my children, and they're just doing some great things. And so I'm just excited. But yes, this is coming out so nicely. I do have to realize that in the beginning, my attention was a little snugger. And as I keep going, I was kind of looking at my work and I said, what am I doing here? Because as I noticed that I noticed that it began to spread a little bit, and it went from, one size to it started kind of increasing. It looked like it was increasing. And I'm like, oh no, did I, not pay attention? And did I begin to increase somewhere to add some stitches somewhere? But I went back and counted and I had all my stitches, but I believe, like I said, my attention was just a little bit off because, it was a little bit loose. It was a little more loose than when I started off. I don't know. So I don't know what I was doing. Sometimes I do that depending on what size hook I'm using. And, I guess it really depends on what your pattern is giving you. Sometimes a pattern will have you do, you know, a bigger hook for the yarn to help your pattern grow quicker, because we all know when you're using a smaller yarn, it can take some time to build that baby. So you might be working with something that's small. That's why a lot of people, some people don't, pardon me, some people refuse to use smaller yarns because of the tediousness that it can be, and also the time that it can take to finish a project. So that's me all the time. I'm like, oh, I don't want to finish. I don't want to work with something super small because I know it's going to cause me to, take some time to get it done. But a lot of times, if you find patterns that call for a smaller yarn with a bigger hook, it can definitely help with that process. Definitely. And then on top of it, some granny stitch, that can definitely be a plus. And it's a plus for me. That's all I can say. It's definitely a plus for me. So when I saw first I saw the J hook, I was like, okay, cool. Well, first I believe the Mandela yarn, because I know I could have enough to finish the project. I wanted to make sure I didn't let anything get in my way. When it comes to making something, it's best if you can have all the yarn right away. Now, sometimes we don't have it and we just really want to make a project, and that's totally understandable, especially if you're able to go get it. Now, again, you have to weigh all those factors in to make sure that it's going to be, how you want it. So let me see, this is this. And so, yeah, you have to put all those factors in. You have to weigh them in and see what's really going to take place, So make sure you have enough yarn is the biggest thing, because especially if you find yourself having some time to put some, we have those days, oh, this is a crochet day, So if you find yourself having a crochet day, then you can, you have that time to put that crochet in, and you're like, man, I ran out of yarn, So if you can get all your yarn right away, that is going to make the project really fun, because now you don't have to worry about any hiccups or any chances of that project turning into a whip and then an unfinished object, because you know how it is. We run into all of our family and friends, and they give us ideas and inspire us to make something, or a crochet along comes along, or we're watching one of our favorite TV shows and they just so happen to have an Afghan draped across their couch, or they're wearing a sweater. I've been noticing, oh my goodness, guys, I have been noticing some amazing crochet items on men. Oh my god, I'm loving it. I was watching a video and I happened to see an NBA player who was in the stands with his family, and he stood up. I guess they were recognizing him, and he stood up to wave, and he was wearing a crocheted cardigan. Oh, I definitely saved it. I saved the picture of it. I had to save it because I was like, oh, I have to try this. I have to try it. I have to try this, guys. If I don't try to make a pattern off of this, or if I don't try to just make it myself, just to wear, I have, not for myself, but my husband, my sons, I don't know if they'll wear it. I don't know. It could happen. I know my husband will definitely wear it, but I don't know about my sons. But guys, this cardigan was delicious, and I have been seeing some men wear some nice crochet wear. I'm just throwing it out there. I have been seeing some men rock some crochet that has been really nice, like seriously, and I have been blown away. Hey, honey, I love you. Welcome in. Good morning. How are you doing? I love you. Thank you for coming in here today. Oh my goodness. I'm just so happy to have you here this morning. I hope your morning is going great. I'm just feeling good. Working on this sleeve to get this baby done because I'm ready to put this baby on now. I'm ready to put this baby on. I was saying that I think I could wear this again. I don't know. My husband knows how to do this. My husband knows how to dress me. I don't want to dress myself. Okay. But I was saying I feel like this could be paired with maybe a jean, possibly ripped, and also a a ripped jean and a boot, and also maybe a hat. I don't know. I don't know. So I'm excited to see how it's going to be. Again, I don't know. We're gonna give it a try. We're going to give it a try. Okay, so and let's see how this is coming out. So, okay, yeah, this is coming out good. Okay, I'm making sure that it is coming out good. Okay, it's coming out. I'm loving it. I'm just loving it. I think it's gonna be really nice. I'm ready to wear it. Like the main thing is putting this baby on. You know, I am just ready to see how it's going to be. I'm ready to put this baby on, and then go from there. So we shall see. All right, so here we go. And again, this has to be 18. I don't know how many. See, we did say about 6 inches more than we had to start off. So we'll see. We're at 1014 right now. So we may be able to get this baby done. Like, that's what I'm hoping. That's what I'm hoping for. That is what I'm hoping for, guys. Again, I'm excited. Because then we'll just have to do the trim. I'll do some trim and then I'll post some pictures. Oh, this is gonna be nice. This is gonna be so nice because it's getting let me see what my weather is. Guys, it's getting cold in my ear. I don't know what your weather's looking like. You have to tell me what your weather's like here in your area. Let me see. My weather's it's breaking down. I know it's coming. I know it's coming, guys. But you never want to get ready for it. Today is going to be a high of 55, and it says it's going to rain. Well, that's going to be at 12 p.m. today. We're going to have some rain, but then, this is today? Maybe it's going to be rainy today. I guess. I don't know. I guess it's going to start at noontime. So I don't know if I'll get pictures in today, but we'll see. Also, tomorrow is going to be 56. We got 61, 57. So, guys, we are ranging low 60s, high 50s. So that's basically what I'm having in my forecast. And this week is going to be a rainy week, guys. I mean, besides tomorrow and a Wednesday, we got rain for the rest of the week. I don't know what you guys are dealing with, but I know the reason why the rain is coming is to induce the cold weather. So yeah, that's how my area does. My area basically comes in. My area basically, it gets colder with rain. So like with rain, I don't know if that's the only way it can get cold. I think that's like a rush way. So if you're dealing with a lot of hot air or hot weather, the rain comes in to cool it down. And that's what is happening right now in my area. It's just cooling on down. And my baby son, he's not ready. So yesterday we had couple activities we were doing, and he just thought it was sweet and delicious to go ahead and decide to he just thought it was like perfect. So let's just go out and without a coat on. It's like, no, you got to put your coat on, son. It's cold out, I think he never wants to get to that realization because it's like, he's been having a good time all summer, all, spring, summer. He's been having a good time with friends and family and, getting outside, being really, outdoorsy because he's getting to that age where he's tapping into his athleticism and, all those things. So he's like, I got to be outside. I have to be outside. And so now that the fall is coming, unfortunately, he's like, I don't know what to do. I'm bored, Mom. So there's going to be some fall leagues, like basketball leagues and things. And then also he's going to do one in school. So I'm like, that's going to be good for him. He can still do something, be a part of a school sport this is going to be first time that he's going to be able to do school sport because they're bringing them back in, toward the end of your school years. and they're letting the kids do things. Right now, they're doing a wrestling program. I'm like, okay. And I know it takes volunteers to do those types of things. I know sometimes they may have coaches that they can pay, but a lot of times when it comes to, these types of programs, we have to have volunteers. We have to have people that take the time out of their day to volunteer to help the children. And so, I love that. Of course, they do have to do their background checks. They do have to do all these types of things. But it's a blessing that they are, coming in and helping our children to, stay safe, and also teaching them a skill. Also about like teamwork. Like sports do all of that. Sports or group projects or group activities, they do all of that. They teach you how to have social skills as well, because a lot of our children and even some adults don't have a lot of social skills. They don't know how to communicate in a large environment. Like some people say, I don't like large crowds, because they don't really care to communicate heavily in large crowds, or they've never really been exposed to large crowds to have to communicate in. So for me, as like, oh my gosh, I know she doesn't have a problem. I don't have a problem, but I got trained really early, very, very early. I got trained for this. I always have loved it. When I was young, I was super young. I think it was like third or fourth grade. And I had a teacher, and we were doing like some Black history one year. I think it was fourth grade. This is like my first time ever doing something like this. It might have been, I don't even know. I think it was third grade. Like my first time I ever did something. Oh my gosh, I did so many different things, y'all. This is just so amazing. I just remember I fell in love with poetry like at a young age. But before I fell in love with poetry, I was, we would do like Black history in class and things of that sort. And we would do like assemblies. Oh, I miss assemblies. I don't even know if they could do that anymore. I'm back with my kids. And we would do like little programs, And so I had to say, good morning, Mary, how are you doing? Welcome in. I had to do the Martin Luther King speech, like, so much of that. I had to do a part of that for Black history assembly at school. And that was like one of my first times kind of like getting into reading in front of large groups. I think I was kind of nervous, but then it was like, after that, I was like, I had this hunger for more. Like sometimes when we do something like that, it's like, oh yeah, don't do it again. I'm never doing that again. They better never ask me to do that again. But for me, I was like, oh, this is what it's like. Oh yeah. What else can I do? Like just anything. But I loved it. And so after that, I remember another year we did some more Black history, and I was able to do a Langston Hughes. Langston Hughes. I was able to do one of his poems, and I fell in love with poetry at that very given time. I started reading different poetry books, and I started getting into it, And then after that, I got into my first play. It was Guys and Dolls. I don't know if anybody knows about it. I remember it coming on. I remember my music teacher, also choir teacher. He loved me. I loved him. I think he loved my personality. I think it kind of goes like that, where you kind of love a person's personality, and you're like they have something there, right? So we were doing that. He's like, well, we're going to do Guys and Dolls, and you might ever so often. Because we were watching plays. We were into play watching. And I remember watching West Side. What's it called? The West Side Story? Oh, gosh. I think it's West Side Story, right? We watched West Side Story. And I fell in love with that. I was like, when we were kids, you don't really want to, don't always want to watch those classics. But we ended up watching. And I was like, I like this, Or did we watch it when I was older? We might have watched West Side Story maybe when I was in middle school. I always get my play times mixed. But I did like that story, but we watched Guys and Dolls, and he was like, well, it might come up on PBS one time. And so I would always try to catch it, and I remember catching it, a little bit of it, and I get to watch the whole thing, but I just wanted to see my character. I played a young lady by the name of Sarah in the play Guys and Dolls. And I remember he had a VHS and he recorded it, and he would let us all, like we were all in the choir, and he would pass it all around, and we were all able to have it, and watch it. And I never had a recorder or a way to copy it. And I wish I did. I know I had a couple of friends who actually copied that play, and they're like, oh, we have a play. I think like somebody's going to get it to me one of these days. but they had the copy of it. And I'm like, what? I would, if I saw myself as a kid acting like, I have to see that video. I have to find it. I tried to find my old music teacher. I'm pretty sure he has. I'm pretty sure like that's that guy. I mean, unless something drastic happened, which I prayed and it didn't. But I am like certain if he's still, he's still around and he didn't have to do like a drastic move or something, he has that video. So yeah, Guys and Dolls. I played Sarah. Like I was like, I want to play the main character, and it was just two main women characters, like a protagonist and an antagonist, right? But it was amazing. I love the play, and I loved it. That's all I can say. I played Sarah Brown. Okay, I played Sarah Brown. And one of my friends, Tiffany, she played Miss Adelaide. So we were back and forth. Like we both were there. I was there, little sweet Sarah. And she was Miss Adelaide. It was very, very nice. And that was my first ever play. And so after that, that's when I got into middle school. Hey, okay. So Cindy said, I always love all the things you mentioned today. Assemblies, yes, choir, poetry. I would have loved watching you playing another character. Sounds like so much fun. Thank you so much, Cindy, for that love. Yes, it was definitely a good, fun time. So yeah, and so when I got into middle school, I had a teacher, rest in peace. His name was Mr. Jordan. He was like the little hard nosed guy that everybody, was kind of afraid of. But you know why people was afraid of him? Because he was very strict. He was very stern, but he was very, very sweet at the same time. Like, like he meant business. And I liked it because a lot of us that were coming up didn't have that fatherly figure to mean business like in our lives. Like he knew this. Like a lot of us, like even if we did have like fathers, like some of us, like even though we did, we still didn't have that structure. And he brought that. And that's what I love. Like when I was coming up, we had a lot of teachers and people in the community like hey, when your parents aren't around, we're your parents. That's all I got to say about that. And they didn't play. This young man was like so strict. Like he did not play mess. Like if you were in his classroom, you were talking out of turn, you're getting up out of turn. Like he was. Some people had their days, and some of the young men and some of the young women, they would go and snap back at him. They had some times where they would, snap at him, maybe, say some explicative words, have some choice words with him. But, they knew they had to get it right. And they did. They would come back and they would apologize. And they saw what he was doing this for, why he was so strict and why he was set in his ruling of his classroom. Like you're not coming in his classroom to do anything but learn. Like you're only coming to learn. And he could teach. And when he taught you certain things about like we did history in his class. Like he was teaching history and he taught us about different countries, the backgrounds and like he broke it down. Like he loved you could tell he was loving that history, and he would break it down for you. Like he made it fun. And even though he was strict, it was just beautiful because his strictness made learning easy because there was nobody playing around in the classroom. You know what I'm trying to say? That's why he did it, because he knows that he knew that if we were able to concentrate, then we could get some stuff done. So that's what I love about him. I love that he was like, you know what? I'm not going to have anybody come in the classrooms acting a fool. We're not going to have anybody arguing. We're not going to have anybody, drinking and eating snacks, So I thought it was just nice. So yeah, that was Mr. Jordan. Rest in peace. He was just a really nice, great young man. And I definitely miss him as well. And so he, taught me how to read, not like that. But it was a time, like when we got middle school, we were all able to read and do like the announcements, over the PA system. And we could do those. I don't know if anybody ever got to do those. And I remember I used to love doing that because I used to love I remember having the opportunity and they were telling everybody it was going to be a chance, an opportunity for us to be able to speak over the PA system. And I thought it would be such a great experience. And I wanted to do that. And so there was this time for Black History. Look at me in Black History, guys. Because I've always loved Black history. I've always loved it. I mean, I loved all history, but I'm just saying it was just something about Black history. I've always loved it. So we were doing, I just love learning about, just the different people that were doing different things, setting goals and making records. And I just love that because it inspired me to oh, I can do that too. I can do that too. And so it is beautiful. But he taught me how to read. He's like, well, we're going to have Black history. We're going to have these announcements. You're going to be on the PA system. And we had different days for everybody. And he's like, this is how we're going to do it. And I loved it because I think he, on top of me knowing that I spoke really fast, I still speak fast. It just comes from the family because that's just how we do. But his main thing was like, this is how you're going to do it. And he like, I just like he just loved perfection and like just greatness, and he taught this drill team in middle school, and he did a great, like he taught you drill, like you were drilling, taught you drill team. He taught you how to do arts and crafts. He had like this whole like this beautiful, well-rounded, what I'm saying? Like that. I wish he could have done like a male class. Like, what I'm trying to say? Like to show men like this, what I'm saying? Like, I just wish he could have done something like that. I think that he would have been so influential in that way because like he had that strictness. Like, I'm not playing, I'm not doing it. But he also had where he could teach you whatever he knew, like, and he would teach you in a great way to where you remember and understand. But he also had this side where he's like, I'm gonna teach you some drill. And then he also had a side where he's like, oh, we're gonna do some arts and crafts with popsicle sticks. And like, I'm like, are you popsicle sticking today? Like the man was doing it all. That's all I can say. Hey, if he's not cussing you out, teaching you something, he's crafting. I don't know. All right, he's cussing, he's cussing, he's teaching and crafting. Hey, we got it all. We got a whole combination here, and I just loved it. So he was like, well, when you're reading, I need you to do like this. When you see a comma, this, like he taught me like this is what it is, because I want people to understand what you're understand what you're reading, and I want what you're reading to be like really, impactful, and I want people to understand it, and I want people to be able to digest it. You know what I'm trying to say? If you go through this way too fast, people are going to remember what you said, and you are speaking some very important facts, and that people need to know. And so he said, when you come to a comma, you're going to pause. Like he would broke it down, and he would give me examples like, this is how you read. And when you get to that period, you stop, and he just, whatever I was reading and whoever else was reading as well that he had put up there, he went through this with us and made sure that we were able to articulate and punctuate each word correctly, because I loved the way he taught. And I mean, like sometimes we don't really think about like, oh, okay, duh, we know to stop at a period. Duh, we know to pause at a comma. Like, duh, like we know this, right? But for a young man to just like really seriously take that time out to say, this is what it's going to be, and to share that, like that's a really life lesson that sometimes we don't know. And it's a beautiful thing because he was so influential in that way. I just loved him. And it's just beautiful to have family and friends and teachers and things that show that. And I'm just glad because me and my husband, we're actually going to be doing some stuff like that too soon, where we can, actually help youth like that too. Because that's one of our goals, one of our dreams, to do the same thing, to have that same, influence, or just any kind of influence in a positive way. You always want to have an influence in a positive way, because you don't want, you're like, when your kids are young and they're like, they come in the house and they might be throwing fits. I don't know. You guys might not have to add that, but they may be throwing fits. They may be, speaking a certain way that you're not familiar with. All right, guys, we got 17 inches, 17. So we got 1.5 inches, guys. That didn't go too far. I mean, that didn't take too long. All right, so 17.5 inches. And so, you always want to, they come in like, oh, I don't want that. And they're just throwing stuff or whatever. You're like, where'd you get that from? And it reminds me of the time watching the movie A Christmas Story. And the young man from Christmas Story comes in, and I guess he was, oh, no. He was out with his father. The whole family was out. Not everyone takes time to notice things about others. So that is a true positive talent that you have. Thank you so much, Cindy, for those compliments. So he was out with his father, and they were, just getting the Christmas tree, singing some Christmas songs and having a good time. And next thing you know, the tire gets unflat. They go outside to change the tire, the oldest son and the dad. All right. Now the dad has always been known for his explicatives, because when he comes home from work, something's going on. Either the dogs in the neighborhood are trying to attack him, or the furnace is going out. And he's dropping bombs like there's no tomorrow. Now, in the film, we don't hear these bombs. And so I think we never hear them. I don't know if they have this unedited version. A part of me feels like I heard it, but part of me feels like it was not. Either way, I don't remember hearing too many explicatives, but according to the logic of the film, the young father was dropping explicatives regularly. So when they go outside to fix a tire, the father and the son, the screw, hey cousin Angie, I love and every stitch by Ruby baby. They go outside to fix his tire, and the father and the son are out there, having a good time, and they're talking, and the son's all happy because he's like, "Yeah, I'm on dad's good side. We're good," because dad can be a little hard nosed, and me and dad are just bonding right now. He's teaching me how to put a tire on, and we're good. Next thing you know, guys, one of the screws or the bolts or the nuts, I don't know what happens. Okay, something goes haywire, and one of those babies all of them, I don't know if all of them or whatever, just go everywhere. And next thing you know, he drops out the fudge bomb. On the film, he does say fudge, but in the movie, he says, "Guys, I really didn't say fudge. That was not what I said." And so it was just a matter of time where he got home, and there was spanking, and there was yelling, and it was a big, huge, dramatic scene. And they're like, "Do you know what your son just said?" And she's whispering in his ear, "Oh no, not that!" And it was just hilarious to me. I know we shouldn't think, our children saying explicatives is hilarious, but just the way it was, looking at it as an adult and things. But he had put soap in his mouth and things of that sort. And the main point of this story was that the mom asked, "Where did you get this from? Where did you hear this?" And he knew where he heard it from. He heard it from his dad. And that was the answer. It was like that. But he did not want to put dad in it because he knew how dad is. And he knew that dad would be like, "What?" It would be another problem. It's like, "Oh no." So he blamed it on one of his friends at school. And so his friend at school got in trouble too. And they both were in trouble. And, but his friend was known for explicatives as well, but he actually had got it from his dad. And so that's what I was basically saying. It is good to be an influence to someone in different ways if you can, especially in a good way. It's always good to be able, since we are presented in front of a cloud of witnesses, to really be our best selves. So that way people can, get something good from us. We want to be, we want to, and illustrate some love and some positivity. I know every day is not the easiest day to do that, but you never know what someone's going through, even though we may feel like we are going through the most. We might be like, "Oh, I don't got this, I don't have that, and I'm struggling with this." And it's very easy to say because a lot of times we are going through these different things, but you never know. You never know what someone else is going through, and we never know. We never know. I heard this story about a young man who went to college. I was telling my daughter this story, and it's a young man. He's a pastor now, and he's doing some great things. And he's such a big giver, and he believes in just loving any kind of way he can. And a lot of things that he loves to give is time. And I feel like that is beautiful when someone gives you their time because you can never get that back. You can't pay anyone that, none of that. And so he was speaking of, I was telling my daughter, because she was, having a rough day in college. And being 4 hours away, there's nothing I can necessarily do physically. I cannot be there to hug her, even though I would love to. I couldn't be there just to, just cuddle her a bit and, reassure her that everything is going to be there. So I talked to her, spoke good words to her, prayed over her, and then I began to share her the story of this young pastor who we know and respect oh so well, who is over 70 years old, still walking, still talking, still blessing and praying and getting around and sharing God's goodness and also getting the youth involved. I shared the story of how he went to college and how he went to college in London. And then he ended up having to, the whole year in London, however happened, he was not able to afford any clothing. He couldn't even afford the schooling. He got accepted because of his academics, but certain things, somehow he wasn't able to get everything in, and he wasn't able to cover it. By the grace of God, he was his dean, is a whole administrative. They didn't say anything about it, and they let him, get in there. But at the end of the year, or toward the end of the year, like halfway through, end of the first semester, he's like, "Well, I'm going to be in trouble. You haven't paid anything. I don't really know how, those were back in the days. We're talking this man is 70 years old. So, you know how things were back in those days. I mean, they probably, a lot of things weren't really computerized, possibly. I really don't know. I can't tell you. But however it went, his academics probably were just really like through the roof, and so it really wasn't probably, really killing them to let him come. But they had to find a way to get the money, right? So they're like, oh, well, one thing we can do is we can get you to go to a school where you can sell books. And that with that money, you can, pay your tuition off and, things that sort. So he had to go to a whole nother country. He had to go to Norway. He went from London to Norway, and he's like, this is horrible. And he spoke on his experiences, and he spoke on how he wasn't really able to even afford a pair of pens. And so a whole year he was wearing the same pen, just washing them over and over, and they got worn and worn and worn. And how he was approached because he was from Nigeria, and him being approached, and how he would sell books to people and go door to door, and how people would rub on his skin and try to see if it could come off, or would it wear off on their skin, or they would rub his hair as though he was like a kind of like a puppy dog or something. Like he was getting like so many of these feelings, and he had to do this because he wanted to finish school. He wanted this degree. He was like, I want this degree. This is how bad I want it. I don't care. But he would call his professor and he's like, I don't know if I can make it anymore. I don't know if I can take it anymore. And so he ended up, after so long, he was able to get back home. But I was telling her, we might think we have it bad, but we hear about stories from others, and who don't. He had that tough skin. Imagine someone rubbing your skin and trying to get your pigment off and trying to get your melanin off and trying to see like you're brushed on like paint or a crayon or a colored pencil or a marker, like just to rub your skin like that, and just rubbing away at your skin to see if it will come off. How humiliating, how embarrassing, and how disgusting that is, honestly, to be really real. I could not, what I'm trying to say? The skin on him, the thick skin on him, the integrity on him, the character on him, to understand how important his education is and how bad he wanted it, not to say something back, not to react in a very negative manner. Like he was like, you know what, I'm going here for God. And he was going there, going to seminary school and college and things. And he was illustrating who God had him to become, because I'm telling you, just throwing it out there. I don't know what I was going to school for, but if he rubbed my skin, I was going to go out there. It's going to be some skin rubbing, all right? No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I was blown away by that story because I'm just like, wow, and he struggled. I'm not saying he was just taking it on the chin and just smiling every single day. I know there was some pain there. I know, and there was lots of prayer there. But it just shows that he wanted that, because at the end of the day, just like time, right? Just like time, we say we can't pay anybody back time, and you can't do that. Those are educational things and things of that sort. These are things that money can't buy. So when you are putting education, no one can take your education from you. No one can say, okay, well, like everything that you learn. So it's always good to learn. That's what I always tell people, like, it's always good to learn. Like, never go somewhere and not learn something. Like, seriously, go and learn something. I don't care. Like, if you got to ask somebody something that they have going on, whatever it may be, go wherever you're going. Make sure you leave knowing something you didn't know before. Like, if you're even going to work today, if you have someone that you work with and you always see them, they might walk past and you just smile. Like, if you don't know their name, like by the end of this day, learn their name. Excuse me, how you doing? I'm Dana. I just want to say hi. I always see you. I smile, but I'd rather, if you don't mind, I would love know your name. That way I can greet you by your name. Oh yeah, I'm Kathy. Oh, okay, Kathy, that's great. And then Kathy's like, oh, well, I noticed that you wear your crochet items every day. And I had my mother crochet for years. I never got into it though, but I love an Afghan. Well, would you, Kathy? Go with you now. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, there's always had to be business, but each day learn something new. Like, learn something new. That's why when you always come in and you tell me about your fur babies, or I have a guinea pig, yes, but I don't know a lot about different things. So I always like to get information from you guys. Yeah, ignorance, you're right. And it hurts. It hurts because, like me, I just love different cultures and things. I do. I love to learn about different cultures and things of that sort because I just love learning. But some people, like you said, they tap into something that's different. And They don't like change or they don't like differences. Me, I love a nice difference. You know what I mean? You see me change. I like to have a different wig on every day. Hey guys, I might put on 3 different wigs a day. One might be my wig that's gonna be just sweated out in the gym. That baby's gonna look like it's had seen better days. Okay, that baby is gonna look like it's seen better days. Then you're gonna see me wear one that's might be a little longer or a little shorter, whatever it may be. You might see me wear some oversized hoodies. You may see me wear something that's a little bit more dressy. But I love a little bit of fun, a little difference, a little change. But some people don't. Some people don't like change, and they don't like difference, and they don't like that. And if it's been drilled in them, and it doesn't even have to be anything on a racial side. It can just be food side. Like, oh, on the holidays we always eat this. Like mom's like, oh, well, we're eating turkey and dressing, and that's what we're eating. And then as you get older, when you get older, you're like, man, when I get older, I ain't eating no more. I'm done with dressing. I'm having spaghetti. Yeah, hey, I'm having some lasagna. I'm having some fried fish. I'm having some, rib tips, whatever it may be. I'm just throwing out there. You're changing that tradition up. And so mom is like, what are you doing? This is not what we do. And so sometimes mom, or I'm just throwing an example out. But sometimes, people they're like, no, this is not what we do. We don't do this. But it's a beautiful thing when you can evolve a bit and change up a bit and try out some new things, because that just shows growth. It shows growth. And I love growth. So I'm always going to be hungry for growth. I'm always going to be hungry to, try some new things out and get to know people for the different things that they like because it's fun, it's a fun thing. It really is. It's a beautiful, fun thing. So yes, I'm just loving it. I am loving it. And I was talking to some friends and we were talking about like, getting the kid, because me and my husband, we've been doing some really great fun things with kids. And I was telling her how we're gonna do some fun things with kids and have different programs. And we're starting off with it's gonna be a 2-week thing where we're gonna do something after school, prayer based, and also, subjects, whether it be character building, just different things, right? Ways to handle situations. Because it's going to be real deal. There's no need to really waste time with children and kids and teens because life is way too short. So there's no need to make this cookie cutter. I really don't know if that's the right term, but a pretend scenario situation with children because they face real life every day, right? There's no need for us to be like, oh, okay, well, no. Let's be really serious about this thing, and let's share real deal situations, things that they had to face all the time. But me and my husband, we talked about decision making. I believe we were doing, and in school, and once 1 week we taught our kids classes, which we have been doing at church, and we have been, we're the youth pastors at our church, but now there is a rotation with the youth, and that's another story. So, so since we are doing that, when the last time, well, not the last time, but one particular time, we talked about decision making, and so we have a lot of teens, and so you know you can look at curriculums and you can look at books, and they'll be like, oh, well, this is the kind of decision you have to make. But what about when you can ask them? We have that relationship with them and that what do you call it, rapport with them, that they are like they're open and they're honest. And so we're like, what kind of decisions you guys got to make? What kind of stuff do you guys get presented with? And they're like, oh well, not to have kids young. And everybody's like, what? Because I guess some of the young women, and young men they didn't know about that. They're like they knew about this, but they had never been approached. But it just depends on, because some people do get approached, some young, youth get approached with that. And I was like, yeah. And I had my daughter, when I graduated from the 8th grade, I was pregnant. And they were like, what? I was like, yeah. And I didn't have that. I didn't have anybody to come and talk to me like we're talking to you guys. I didn't have that. And so they're like, oh my goodness, they were just like, they looked at me in a different way then, because they saw who I was. They knew who I was. They knew how I have always exuded myself and exuded the God in me. And they're just like, Like, what? I can't believe this, not even in a bad way, but I just think that they looked at me. It was maybe a different, it was like a respect level kind of moved up a bit because they were just like, wow, like you really had to go through that. I couldn't even imagine, like, what? I thought you were just talking about this thing. I didn't know you were for real, like, yeah, for real about it. And they talked about how the decision that they had to make, like they get faced with, being um, like pressured into drugs, pressured into, smoking and drinking. And I was like, that, yeah, that's a real deal. These are real deal situations. And our kids aren't just getting pressured into, pinning the tail on a donkey. This is some real stuff that our kids are getting presented, no matter if they tell us or not. They don't, probably don't tell us why, because we for the most part of us who are like really heavily instrumental in keeping them busy in sports or keeping them stayed on God and keeping them, in really, really disciplined areas, as well as teaching them like the consequences and them even seeing them amongst friends. Like our kids, they saw a lot of their friends kind of go downhill when it came to the decisions that they were making. And so, even though we were speaking this to them, they were seeing it firsthand, like, man, we used to do this together. We used to do that together. And then they could see the outcome of their choices. It was like, man, I don't even got to make it. I don't even have to even choose any of that or decide on doing any of that. You're making the choice for me. You're showing me exactly why not to do this. So we talked about that, and that was some of the decisions. Like some of the kids, they have to deal with these types of things. Our kids have so many different, um, so many different things that's going on in their lives, and the thing is, even though they are being presented with these things, it's so easy for them to get away with it or get into it or get approached by it or tap into it or experiment. It's getting easier and easier. When we were young, I'm not saying we all experimented with certain things, but for those of us who did or were presented with certain things, it was some work to get to it. It wasn't like, oh, we could just go outside and hey, there you go. No, like we had to figure this thing out, try it out, go find somebody to do it, sneak around here. I mean, it was a journey to even do it. So it was some work. Nowadays it's just basically there. It's basically you can go to a party, stumble in the bathroom and it's there. You can go, anywhere. I mean, I walk to the gym and I'm smelling things in the air. And it was just like everywhere I go. It's like, and so I can imagine our kids and I can imagine the things that they go through. And if they don't have anybody to talk to and them being presented like, oh, okay, well, you're stressed out. This is what I do when I'm stressed out. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, this is what I do when I'm trying to just relax a little bit. Oh, my mom's getting on my nerves. This is what I do. And I could just imagine them just, you know, falling into that temptation and being influenced by the wrong things. And, I could just imagine what they have to go through. And so it just gets to me sometimes because, you know, all it takes is just a little conversation with some of them. All it takes is just a little bit of an ear to hear sometimes just for them to know that they're heard. That's all it takes, you know? And that's all it takes. And I know some people are not kid people. It is true. And I always say that all the time. People are like, what are you talking about? Some people even actually have children and still are not really good with children. Not saying that they don't want to be, but they may just have a lack of patience. They're like, oh, I can't do it. I can't do it. But I'm just grateful that God gave me that one of those skills because I definitely love children. When I was young, I used to want to have seven. I was like, oh yeah, I'm having seven kids. I didn't have seven kids, but I still love them just like I do have seven or more. I love them a lot, because they are always they one thing about I love our kids is because they have that mentality where like I can be anything. I think when we get older, we all these different things come in. When you're a kid, you dance, no matter if someone's watching. When you're a kid, you draw things. And even if I don't understand what your drawing is, you can say it could be, a cow jumping over the moon. It may not look like that in my eyes, all right? But you can say you have that imagination and you have those dreams like I'm going to be this when I get older, and they do these different things and they can create out of a box something fun or they can make fun out of you know anything. And when you get older, I feel like we bring so many things into life or so many pressures come about us, so many responsibilities take place, and so a lot of the imagination or a lot of the creative side um, dissipate, and so we no longer, even imagine them or think of them, or we don't even engage in what could be, or push ourselves to the limit. We just kind of like, okay, this is what it is. And so I love children because children bring life. They're our future. And so when you are around a child, in a helpful way, not a harmful way, but when you're around a child, you get that. For me, I do. I get that, like that little fun, that little creative side, like, oh, what, like these kids in our area, I have no idea. I tell my mom and I tell my husband this all the time. In our area, guys, our street, I don't know how this all began. I know our two oldest children started a lot of it with the playing in the yard and, kicking a ball and just trying to keep themselves, some company. But I just know that a lot of the kids in our area, guys, there's devices out there, there's computers, there's phones, but guys, they love the outdoors because they will find fun in flipping. They will find fun in racing, doing foot race. Can you count? And you're counting in their rate. Like, I have no idea. Like, I know it's all God, but I'm just like, how did this even happen? You would think all these kids would be in the house, in their rooms, camped out in front of the TV. And these kids are like having super huge joy in a foot race. Okay. Like, this is fun. Like, we can race all day. Like, doing backflips in the yard, playing in a swing, like just making a tire that's in our yard this rollable thing. And I was like, I didn't ask my husband because I don't know we're gonna do this tire, but I mean, I wonder him. He's gonna get me. But there's a good tire, guys. I would love like it's really fall time right now, but I don't know if this can happen. But I would think it would be so nice. Hey, Mary, good morning. I think it would be so nice, seriously, to have a tree swing, like a tire swing in the tree, like just like have it like temporary, like put it. But I don't know, like it's not our tree, it's not our property. But I just want to have that tire. I want to have a tire swing so bad. I love tire swings. Oh my gosh, I don't know. Like, could we do like a temporary tire swing? Like put it up on the weekends when the office is closed, and then take it down. I want a tire swing. I would swing in that baby daily. I would do it. I really would. Again, I don't know if it can be a temporary thing or not, but it possibly could be. If we get enough chains and a strong, good chain, you got back. I hope the doctor was great. No worries about being late. I'm just finishing up this sleeve and that we can assemble it. I'm excited. I'm hoping to wear this baby today, but I might wear it tomorrow. We're having it's gonna be rainy for this week for the most part, except Tuesday and Wednesday. How is your weather where you are? We're dealing with basically 50s, high 50s, low 60s. Yeah, I love it. Yes, I love it. But now I have got, I kind of have used, I usually I guess I can use any type of tire swing, but you have the tire swings where you can this tire is basically maybe vertical or just upright, and then you can kind of get in like Mariah Carey singing Always My Baby. Anyways, swinging over the water, and the water's in the background. Anyways, you can have it like that, and you're just like holding on, like sliding your body up and just like holding on. But then you can have it where it's flat, and then you got not a bottom room, and then you have the chains like that. Man, I love swinging it all. I mean, well, swinging like that kind of swinging. That's only swinging I'm into, guys. So they're out there. That's it. But man, I would love that. Hey, Grandma Mimi, good morning. Thank you so much for coming in, and hugs to you as well and the family. I hope you're having a beautiful Monday. It's October. It's October night. It is. It's October night, guys. Y'all got anything going on for this month of October? Again, I'm just bronchitis. Oh no. So are you doing like wheezing and whatnot? So sorry to hear that. I really pray that you feel better. I hope you're able to possibly get, I don't know if they give you like depending on, I know in my previous times I've gotten like what is it? I've gotten antibiotics, steroids, and things of that sort. But I just pray that you feel better as well, because I understand this weather change, it happens a lot for us. During that weather change, you're going from that warm to cold and things of that sort. It can definitely affect the respiratory, definitely. But I just pray that you feel better, because I know. But that's good that you went to the doctor. You didn't do any home remedies like, oh, you know what? I'll be all right. I'm just going to sit. Hey, I'm going to sit in front of this steam and breathe it in. And I'm not knocking anybody who does this. Okay. I'm talking about myself sometimes. I'm always trying to find like this little home remedy. Like, hence this right here. Look at this. Look at this. It's a home remedy. Yeah. Definitely need to get in there. You guys are going to like it. Really? You still wearing that thing? It's been like 8 years. You've been wearing it. I know. I know. You just woke up, Grandma. You just woke up. Oh, did you get some good rest? Oh my goodness. Hope you got some good rest. Oh, yeah, COPD. Oh no, I'm so sorry. Hear that. Okay, so I have it 4 or more times a year. We got everybody. Okay. I'm so sorry that you have that. Wow. I know I had a couple family members who have that as well. So I already know. I mean, I don't know necessarily firsthand, but I've heard of how they feel at times, and like I said, of breathing and things, difficulties at times. But I definitely keep you lifted up. You did get some. You said family has stability. Yes, the weather. Yes, and that's what I'm thinking about Jason. I'm telling him, son, you have to wear your coat because he's like, oh, he thinks he's the handsomest guy in town, and he just wants to show. He wants to just show off his wardrobe or whatever else he wants to do, and he thinks it's still summertime, and it's just not. It's not summer. You say it could be worse. Yeah, it could be. You're right. It could be worse. So I'm just grateful that you are, you got you went to the doctor and, you went on in when it's time to go in. You didn't hesitate, because I'm a hesitator. Help me, Lord. So I got to pray for me on that area. So this is going to be delicious, guys. This is going to be delicious. Okay. What time we got? We only have a little bit of time. And I need to share with you what we're doing tomorrow, guys, in case you guys want to do this with me really quickly. You might want to do it with me. Let me see. I think I got the sleeve done. I was trying to make sure. I was going to stop at a certain time, but you know what? I was like, I'm going to do this right. I was going to just stretch it, until I got 18 and a half inches. But I was like, I'm not going to, excuse me, guys. I'm not going to stretch it. I'm going to do it right. There you go. I'm thinking about going to a funeral this weekend, I believe. I think it's a funeral. One of the young men I went to school with. And I went to school with him in middle school. I think I'm going to see with my husband if we'll go to his funeral, because I never really go to a lot of funerals, and I just think it's a way to pay respects. I mean, not saying we have to stay there the whole time, or if we do, we can. I just want to pay my respects. I'm getting a little older now, and there's a lot of funerals that I missed out on. I'm just going to be honest, a lot of people in my family, first cousins, uncles, and aunts, like just different people. I missed out on their funerals, and I just don't want to miss out anymore. So I'm just going to tell you my husband doesn't mind because I really want to get to that. Tomorrow's craft is going to be a hexagon cardigan. I'm going to get out of here, guys, but I just wanted to share with you what we're doing tomorrow. Cardigan. I know some of you guys are going to maybe Hobie Bingo possibly and things of that sort. And I just want to share with you. Some of you might want to do this. Some of you never done a hexagon cardigan. And some of you are just like, okay, let's do it. Some of you are like, let's just do it. I'm down. So that's what we're going to do tomorrow. And I hope you guys are ready to join me with this. Now, again, she did add cuffing. She switched it all the way up. She did. I don't know if she shares at the end. I hope she does. She might have like a little somewhere to click it at, I'm sure. And she might have a way that she changed it up. I'm sure she did because she did. She added to it. But this is what we're going to do tomorrow. And go from there. Okay, so I'm just gonna drop a link, and then we're gonna get out of here, guys. Tomorrow's craft, and we're gonna start this video tomorrow. I'm so excited. Okay, tomorrow's craft. Tomorrow's craft. Okay, this is tomorrow's craft, guys. Okay, it's gonna be share the screen. Man, we're gonna get out of here, guys. I'm gonna show you this really quickly. All right, guys, this is what it looks like. Okay, and I love it. I love it. And this is what we're gonna do. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. We're gonna make 2 of these and then put them together. This is gonna be. I'm hoping it's half double crochet. Honestly, I don't know. We have a link. She's gonna give us a link. I hope it's double crochet. Okay, I was hoping it was gonna be half double, but it's okay. I don't know what size hook we're using. What size hook we're using, guys? 8 hook too. Oh wow. Okay. Well, let's get into it. We'll get into it, guys. You ready?
We'll be back tomorrow to do this, and I'm excited. I got to figure out what kind of stripes I'm going to do. We'll figure it out. I want to tell you thank you so much for coming in today, guys. I had a really good time with you all, and I'll see you guys in the morning. So you have a beautiful, sweet day. Me and my husband will be live tonight as well, and I'll probably show with you guys what this looks like. If I don't take pictures, if it does rain and it's kind of cloudy, I'll probably take pictures tomorrow, but you'll see what it looks like tonight. All right. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a beautiful, sweet day, and I love you all. Take care, everybody.